Hello everyone. Our topic this week is risk management. First, I want to share with you the guiding framework when we learn about something about risk management, which is Black Swan theory. It also called a theory of Black Swan event, which refers to an event or occurrence that deviates beyond what is normally expected of a situation. So, such event is extremely difficult to predict. And also, it changes how you think of a situation or an event. Therefore, it has a major impact. So, a concept associated with this guiding framework of Black Swan theory is called risk and risk management. So, risk is a kind of a likelihood or consequences of an event not for fulfilling its objectives. So we need to managing an event, which refers to a process of identifying problems, accessing them, and dealing with them. This is a framework we will use to learning about risk management. We want to build up a risk management model from identifying a risk, assessing a risk, and making response plan to address such risks. So the Black Swan theory is our guiding framework to guide us to build the risk management model. First is we need to identifying a risk. There is a variety of risks related to an event. Please take a minute to read. Alright, you may have think of these risks already or something is new to you. That's okay. I would like to encourage you to think about this question. We all know this is event assets, including people, equipment, and finances. What is the protection priority? So people always first. Our clients, attendees is always most important. And then maybe property. And don't forget reputations. We will talk a little bit about reputation management at an event. And last, revenues. We also need to try our best to protect. A related concept here is reputation management, which is a process of shaping your public perception of your organization. It is also an opportunity for you to prove to your clients that you are taking responsibility in order to approve the way that your organization operates. And you can see the following things you can do in order to do a good reputation management at an event. Now we have learned the concept of risk and risk management. Now I would like to invite you to think about the question. Do you have a risky experience in the past? Or have you ever met a risk in your life? So just to take a minute to reflect and think. Okay, now we move to assessing the risk. 3 things we can do to do the assessment. First, we need to describe the nature and cause of the risk. And we need to consider the likelihood of its happening and the consequences if that did happens. And lastly, we need to determine what could be done to reduce the likelihood or impact of the risk. This is what we call risk assessment. After we have done risk assessment, then we need to make our response plan. So talking about response plan, I would like to invite you to watch a video first.
tell them that you're trying to run 1,000 kilometres in 4 different deserts, they just tell you, you're crazy.
It's 100 degrees out, the wind is blowing, and it's like someone's got a hairdryer on your face.
Dehydration is going to be the big issue today. Can't breathe too good.
Sand grating your feet until they bleed, your back getting blisters the size of a plate.
Oh God, actually, I don't feel very good.
Falling down in the sand with exhaustion.
Ridiculous.
We're just going uphill continuously.
I'm very close to my pain barrier.
Why would you want to crucify yourself?
I was going up the escalator on the tube, and I got to the top of the escalator, and I was like, out of breath, and I was like, man, I'm 30 years old. I've been an athlete my whole life. I can't be out of breath. So then I just started taking up running.
I say to my kids, whatever it is you want in life, have a passion. I don't care what it is, but have a passion for something. I think it's for me, I'm doing it to prove to myself that I can do these things, that I can finish them, that I have got the strength of mind, the strength of character.
How far can I push myself without killing myself?
I've had to work really hard to get here, push through injuries, push through financial barriers. I certainly realise that I am a control freak. It's hard to let go, being so on the ball.
I was in Iraq, and then over the course of a year, my whole world sort of turned upside down. The whole intention of doing 4 deserts in a year, it was a part of my grieving process.
The only thing I know how to do is put one leg in front of the other.
It doesn't go away. It does not go away, the feeling of, am I going to get through this?
We're in the desert. There's a lot of unknown factors here. Heat, terrain, things that I can't really control.
I think man innately just seeks to see how much further can we push the envelope.
My body is shutting down.
Has he been up there for 4 hours? This has just changed this whole race for me. I'm just really confused.
People say, well, it's quite hard to do all 4 in a year. And they're right. I'll never quit. I don't care if I had to walk on my hands and knees. There's no way I'm going to quit.
Alright, after you have watched the video, I want you to think about the question. What kind of risks did they have? How did they address or respond to those risks? We might conclude the following response plan that we can have in order to address the risks. The first one, avoidance. Second one, transference. Lastly, mitigation. We also have acceptance. First, avoidance. If you do not want to have risk, do not take the risk at all. So it's impossible to avoid the risk in our life. But if you want to avoid certain risks, you can do that to taking the response plan of avoidance. Second one, transference. So we can transfer the risk through either contract or insurance. Mitigation. We can incorporate safeguards at the event and to prevent the potential severity of the impact. Acceptance. So if we have recognized a certain risks that we might have at the event, we can include those risks in our contingency plan. Okay, we have finished learning the 3 parts in our risk management model. Now I want to share with you a case called Fire Festival in Bahamas. Before we watch the video, I want to keep these questions in mind. First, What was the problem and why did that happen? Second, how did the organizers deal with that? Last one, how would you do differently if you are the event planner?